That will
I
probably
guess I
definitely
had
get it
to
done.
accept him.
All right, so we are live already. Where did Keaton get off to? Of course.
Look at it, dude.
Um,
Shut up.
Oh, okay. Well, we're here doing the
looking at
live
food.
gaming podcast. Let's Play podcast. Let's Play podcast live. I don't know. I haven't figured out a good name for it. In any case, I'm playing Dying Light. What are you guys up to?
Um, yeah. Rainbow Six Siege?
Okay, well, I'll definitely be joining you for that later because we were having a fucking gay old time yesterday, were we not? That was so much fun.
It was amazing.
I don't think I've ever played like a night of Rainbow Six that was that much fun. Check it out on the previous Twitch or the previous stream. It's there somewhere. We were playing for a long ass time. Then I went and I played fucking Elite Dangerous for another like 4 hours, which was ridiculous. But I had a good time doing that too. There's like one guy on at the time. He was just me and him were just chatting. So we're here talking about gaming stuff, but there's no real gaming news happening right now. I don't really think anything super important is happening. So I just kind of wanted to bring up certain topics. You guys, we've all been playing video games for a pretty long time, right? I mean, I've been doing
Hold
it
on.
since I was like 5. Yeah?
Did you get your package?
I did, actually. Thank you, Santa. Thank you for the package. I forgot to mention that, actually.
You're very welcome. Everything intact?
Yeah, I got everything. I mean, some of the cookies were a little crumbly, but what do you expect? They're cookies.
Yeah.
But no, they were good. I can't eat very many of them because I don't want to give myself diabetes. But the three or four that I had were actually quite good. So thank you again, Dante. You're the man.
And the bud was all good.
Yeah. I haven't started it up yet. I thought I was gonna do it today, but then just now, as I smoked a little bit of what was left in the bong, and my stomach started to hurt immediately. Like eating it is fine now. Smoking it always hurts. I don't know what's going on. So I was thinking maybe I would sit back and get kind of high, you know, but I'm like it's just
Well, I
like
mean,
not
that thing is
worth it.
completely sealed up, so you can just put it away.
Yeah, I'm either gonna do that or end up giving it to my mom. She's always looking for some marijuana.
It's really good.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the last time you sent me stuff, I was shocked, to be honest. Um.
Okay,
Anyway,
back to games.
back to gaming. So, how long have you guys been playing video games? Keaton, are you here?
Yeah.
How long have you guys been playing video games? I got my first PlayStation, and I mean, I maybe played a little bit of like the
Regular
Sega
Nintendo.
Genesis. I maybe played a little bit of the Sega Genesis when I was like 5 or 6, but I got my first PlayStation when I was 7, and I'm 27 now. So it's 20 years, solid time now. What about you guys?
I've been playing since regular Nintendo. Like, my dad had one when I was a kid. Like, an infant. But I don't know exactly when I started playing, but I always watched them play. When did I start playing games?
Okay.
It's like,
You've played games all your life. I've got
When
you on
did you
videotape
deeply
holding the
get into
controller,
it?
playing the shit out of a game and wasn't hooked up. Okay, but you thought you were doing it. We left you. That's when they
Oh my
had
God!
to
Did
have
you
the
just
wire.
did you just tell a story about how they hooked the controller up to convince you that you were playing?
yeah.
They used to do that shit to me too. Whenever my brother didn't want to
Yeah.
let me play, they would do that
It
exact
sucks
shit.
too, because I do that to my little nieces and nephews and shit like that, and then they get old enough to like, wait, I'm not
It doesn't
moving.
fucking
This
work
isn't-"
anymore. These kids are too goddamn smart. Dante, how long have you been
No,
playing video
I'd
games?
say since I was about 6, maybe.
See, I played games off and on when I was a lot younger, but I had friends and everything, so I played with them a lot more outside and whatnot, because it was also still that type of family where we, go play outside, go do
Yeah, I
whatever.
got that too, and I didn't always want to, but I
Um,
definitely got that treatment too.
And it wasn't till about, I would say, when we moved out here, in like fucking 4th or 5th grade, I think that's what it was, when I lost my main group of friends, and I was just out in the country fucking stuck. that's when I really got into games and started playing whatever, however long, because my parents did whatever they wanted. You know, they fucked with the land or messing with that, doing that, and I either watched TV, which got boring really fast,
Yeah.
or I played games.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people watch TV now as like a hobby, like a pretty common hobby, but I find it, oh Jesus, hold on. I find it like now it's a lot easier to get like stuck on TV because there's so much of it. But when you were a kid, it was like watch some Hey Arnold reruns, some Dragon Ball Z reruns, or just
Mhm.
general reruns of just
Well,
shit.
when
Like
we
it
were
was
younger, it
always
wasn't really
reruns. For me, it was a lot of reruns. I remember.
Well, not for Dragon Ball Z. Like, I mean,
So-
it was when they fucking took a year for them to come out with new episodes. They just kept replaying what they had for like a year.
And see, I remember two times of I would only watch. I would watch it either late at night or Saturday. Toonami or Adult Swim. Like those are the only times because they had like really crazy stuff when I watched TV. Or until I found G4. Once I found G4,
G4,
man, I
dude.
watched.
Dude,
I
G4
watched
was
TV
so
like
good.
non-stop for a long time.
I watched
it was
G4
on while
before
I
it was
played
even
games.
good.
No. G4 was good, and then it merged with Tech,
Tech
TV,
TV.
and it got shitty, and then it just kind of continued to be shitty for a while. But there was like some
And then it
gold
got
in there
better.
somewhere, yeah. Then it like became a
'Cause, like,
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
In the beginning of Attack of the Show, it was horrible. It didn't even
Yeah.
have the same feel, and like they changed it and then put Olivia Munn as the host, and I was like, yeah, this is a lot better.
Really,
Yeah,
or was
Kevin
it just
Burr and that
because
blonde chick.
was it just because
Mhm.
of Olivia Munn?
No, it's
No,
the
it
way they
wasn't.
changed it. They changed it up completely.
Yeah, they made it better, like, a lot better. Chris Gore came in and did the movie reviews and like all kinds of other shit. Like,
Fucking
it did better.
AOTs.
So, you asked a pretty good question, Dante. It's like it's not necessarily when you started that's important, but when was when was the moment that you decided that you were going to start pursuing it as like a common hobby, you know, or more than that
Yep.
even. Like when was it that you were like, I like this game a lot, or I like that game a lot. I want more of that experience. I'm going to go searching for that because I mean I don't think I started walking into like EB Games and GameStops until I was like a teenager, but I had been playing video games all up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the game that made that happen for you? For me, I guess it was like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City 3, and then like Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. Those games like just really did it for me at the time. And I mean, I was like what 13 or 14? I think 13 when the first one came out. 12 when the first Ratchet and Clank came out, I think. I can't find my way around what I'm doing. I'm trying to get to the top of this building and I can't fucking do it because there's volatiles everywhere. So yeah, what do you guys remember what that game was for you that you were like, I'm gonna play video games now. This is my thing.
Tekken.
Tekken.
Like it
Which
was
Tekken?
Tekken. The one. It was for PS2. I want to say that was Tag Tournament. I
Tag
think it was
Tournament was
Tag
so
because I never
good.
owned 4. I never owned 4. I think it was Tag Tournament. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because that was the one with like the chick. Like the final boss was like the chick, and she had like a ghost werewolf behind her, but you only had to beat her.
Tekken was really wacky. Where the fuck is? Sorry, I'm trying to pick a lock. There it is.
And then the Dot Hack series, the basic Dot Hack series, and then the Dot Hack GU series.
I remember
really
bringing
gamed out
that
the
up.
fuck out of them.
And once, and you met, and you like had a like you had like a memory where you were like, oh shit, that game, and you were like super excited
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't
That
get this fucking
all-
lock open.
Because the Dot Hack 1 was a span of 4 different PlayStation 2 games. And I played the fuck out of that. And then like any anime game, because I was also watching Naruto around then, so I bought a whole bunch of Naruto games. Who else?
Oh shit, I'm supposed to go in over here. What the fuck? Keaton, what say you about your answer? Sorry, I got distracted.
I mean,
Well, it's everything customized.
I'm not really sure, because I mean, I played Super Nintendo games and all that shit, but I wouldn't really say any Super Nintendo game was like, oh my god, you know, this is what I'm due for this in life. I guess it'd be like PS1 or PS2 era.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think
Chrono
for me,
Cross.
like,
Final Fantasy X, Chrono Cross, like,
Yeah.
really turned me on to RPGs. Like, I didn't really play RPGs before those. And,
you know,
like,
it's funny that you mention it because I actually didn't get into RPGs until I was much older. Like, I think the first RPG I played, and I mean, now looking back at it, I guess if you were going to be like a purist, you couldn't even call it a real RPG. But like the first legit RPG I think I played was like Fallout 3, you know, but like right after I got out of high school. And up until then, up until that point, it was all like shooters and like adventure games. Can't like racing games too.
And see, it was funny. I didn't discover Fallout or Elder Scrolls until somebody like I borrowed my buddy's Xbox and we played Fable. And he was just like, and then he had Oblivion. And I was like, dude, can I get this for my PS2? And he's like, yeah, there's a game of the year edition. And I was like, fuck yeah. And that's when I played Oblivion. And then I had another buddy who was like, you like this? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you should play Fallout 3, game of the year edition. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, it's like that with guns. And I was like, what?
See, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that all on Xbox because the Xbox experience for those both of those games was probably was not really excellent compared to like let's say PC, but very good compared to the PS4 or PS3. Because fucking Fallout sucked on PS4. Like I played it on PS3. I played it on PS3 because that's all I had, but it was just a buggy fucking mess. I can't get this lock open for the life of me, guys. I've been trying for like 20 fucking lockpicks, and they just keep breaking, and I'm fucking losing my mind over here.
I hate Dying Light's lockpicking.
I'm not a fan of it either, to be honest. I wish I remember when I would play in like group play with Gia and David, I would make them do all the lockpicking because it annoyed me, especially because you got to deal with zombies, you know.
Yeah, at one point, you're looking for the spot, and you're like, it's literally one line of pixels.
That seems like what it was, and now I got a superior cricket back and a military medipack. That's cool, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I guess for me it was like I said, it was probably Ratchet and Clank. That was game but it was one of those things where it didn't like happen. Like I didn't make the decision. I just realized what had happened. Like I looked one day and I had finished Ratchet and Clank like 20 times. And I was like, yeah, I guess I play video games, you know? So...
See, but that was the norm. Now
Right.
I think back on, like, in school and shit.
You were broke and you had one game. And that was the game that you played forever.
But it was great when you found somebody else who was like, oh, I have that game too. And you're like, yeah.
Right. I mean, that was kind of why Grand Theft Auto became a big thing, because like that was the game that was like borderline naughty to play because you're a kid, you're not supposed to be playing it, but every kid had it. And so when you go back to school the next day after like running over a bunch of hookers and police officers, you're like, bro, you won't believe what I did in Grand Theft Auto, and you know all your friends are like, yeah, I did the same thing, and you have suddenly this thing to talk about with these so-called friends of yours. Where the fuck? Alright, it's just gonna be like last podcast where I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. What were you saying? Sorry.
And see, who runs the UNPD?
Yeah, Castle and the FBI guys. Castle and the FBI defenders. Castle and Pulse both have the UNPD.
Yeah, and then...
it's a pretty solid gun, too.
C7?
The which one?
C7?
The P7. What does that even look like?
No. The C7. C7E?
Huh.
Jackal's gun.
Oh, other than Jackal, no.
Canadian assault rifle. No, I just got 3 skins from this club.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Works for me. So, one of the things I wanted to touch on today, it's the holidays, right? And you guys just, I mean, Gia just gave us our Christmas presents. Everybody's talking about Christmas presents, and I'm broke as fuck as always. But something occurred to me while I was while I was thinking about how nice it is that you guys are like exchanging gifts, or that we're all exchanging gifts. Is that like, you know, people talk about, I mean, it's definitely a stereotype now because it's not 100% true, but people talk about the people who play video games that have no friends and no life. Now, I don't know if I can say I have no life. I get things done in between video games. I don't know how, but I do. And I figure I play with you guys so often that it's pretty easy to call you guys some of my best friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what do you say to people that are like, well, how do you stay online, not talking to people or doing anything, blah, 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 blah? You know, the average stereotype of what a gamer is. Like, how do you respond to that now? Because we all know that it's not true.
Yeah, it's infuriating too. You start trying to argue about that shit. I'm like, I do have friends. I talk to them every day.
And it's also like, it's not even that. It's by choice, and sometimes it's not by choice. Location, time of day. There's just like, for me, I mean, look when I get on now. I get on late as hell
Right.
because, you know, there's nobody there. I pretty much when I get on, I'm like, I hope somebody's on. Or
Kinda
else
the
it's just
same
gonna be
way.
me.
Yeah. And I also get on really late. So it's like a similar thing where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to get on and then nobody's going to be on. And that's just fucking bummer sometimes. Not that I always need somebody to be on, but it's become such a norm. And that's what I'm saying. Is that, like, it's not really true when people are like, you don't ever talk to anybody or do anything. It's like, I'm pretty much talking to you guys all the time.
Yeah. You know, we always talk, and you guys are probably the people I talk to the most. Like, yeah, you guys are the people I talk to the most.
Right. And again, that's kind of just because, like, we're always on, or one of us is at least always on. And so what I'm getting at here is that, like, you hear about people making this assumption, you know, you must not have any friends doing it. But, like, it's the holidays, and I've talked to you guys pretty much every day around this time of year, and that's fucking cool, man. People always complain that the holidays makes them depressed because they can't hang out with their friends, or they can't talk to people that they know because everybody's doing holiday stuff with their family. And I get the good fortune of being able to, at a moment's notice, turn on, like with the press of a button, talk to friends. And so
Yeah.
I feel like the discounting of the experience, which is common for video games or any type of like online experience, is like Keaton said, it's a little infuriating sometimes. And like, fuck, I wish there were things that we could do together in person, obviously.
Yeah, that'd be
But,
great.
you know, you work with what you can.
Yeah, in the distance.
That's what co-op games are for.
Mm-hmm.
Keaton, what are you playing?
At the moment, nothing.
What
But
you
I was
bought?
playing ukulele.
Yeah, you bought ukulele. What led to that? Was that on sale this week?
Yes.
How much was it?
And I bought it 10 minutes before Gia sent me money.
Oh,
It's 20.
You mean 20
20
minutes after?
unless you have PS Plus, it's like 13.
I might want. I'm staying.
so yeah, I got kind of like the video game itch where I was like, I should buy something new, and I keep eyeing fucking what's the heist game? Payday.
Payday.
Yeah. You guys ever look in the store in the play like the game section, and you're like, why does everything seem? Or no, sorry, I got off sidetracked because I had to look at the computer. You ever look in the game section of a store? You're kind of like you're ready to buy something. It doesn't really matter what. You're just gonna be like, I'm gonna waste some money. And then you like go to the screenshots of a game and you're like, I don't want to buy this game. Like, you ever play a game that like makes you not, or you look at a game and like the promotional material makes you not want to fucking play it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Payday's like for me. I keep thinking, oh man, I liked that little bit of Payday that I played back in the PS3 days. It's got to be better now. And then I look at the screenshots and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need this. And I was like ready to spend money. I was ready to waste it, man. It's crazy. What other game has made you guys feel like that? Off the top of your heads. Don't worry about it if you can't remember.
There was a couple.
recently. I go back in the store. I'm like,
I mean, there's also games that I play and I'm like, or I want to play, like the new Battlestar game, which is like it's like a space tactical battle game. I don't know how to explain it, but it looks cool, but it looks like just like XCOM, like one of those games that can be very time consuming. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, I love Battlestar, I like space, I like tactical games. This is right up my alley. But then I'm like, I can barely spend more than like 45 minutes on a game and like actually play anything to completion anymore. I might be biting off a bit more than I can chew, and then I decide not to, which is kind of shitty, right? It's like I've got too many other games to play the games that I may or may not be interested in now.
mm-hmm.
But then again, I also go back to games like fucking Dying Light, like all the time, because Dying Light is the shit, and I love this game.
You know, it's pretty
Talk to the
good.
quartermaster. What the fuck?
Wish we kept. Oh yeah, because I had it on base. That's why.
You can download it. David has it.
Oh shit.
I always
Might
thought
be
you
on
just
the
weren't
space,
downloading
too.
it because of space.
No, I don't. No, I took off the third in one game. Can you guess what that game was?
Was it Call of Duty Infinite Warfare?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Call of Duty games are so bloated. It's so weird. You know what other game was really bad about that? Fucking Batman. I bought the like complete edition of Batman, and I mean it's obviously a very pretty game, lot to it, sure, but like it came out to be like almost 100 gigs. It was like 97 gigabytes or some shit, and I was just like, that alone made me kind of not want to play it. But then it kind of sucked. On top of that, but yeah, man, that game was huge. I don't know. This seems like obviously it's biased. It doesn't seem biased. It's totally biased. But like, you ever see a game and you're like, you get like, you don't like it depending on if it's like bigger than you're expecting it to be? Like 60 gigabytes. Fuck this thing. And you get kind of resentful because it's taking up so much space.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel about. That's how I always felt about Infinite Warfare. And I like certain things about Infinite Warfare. Not the multiplayer or the zombies, really. I mean, I did the zombies as much as I could. But the thing I really liked about Infinite Warfare was the campaign. It was pretty cool. Keaton, you there? I don't hear you.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Bruh? Rodion? Brosidon? Lord of the Broshan? Broshan? Whatever. So, there's not really any news to talk about this week, unfortunately. I mean, I guess unfortunately, but even talking about the news I find is kind of annoying. What do you think about this random company doing something shitty? Most of the time it's EA or Activision. What do you think about Destiny being shitty this week?
Destiny's always shitty. Well,
Well,
not always.
Like, now it's
God,
getting
shitty.
worse, dude. Like, I was just reading something about
What is it?
how
So
the
you
Destiny
remember me?
community is like really upset at the
remember
lack
you.
of transparency
You were at the
with
Rice's camp when I lost What are you into?
with Destiny 2,
Think
and
about it.
and I think like lack of transparency with Destiny 2. There's just a lack of transparency with Destiny. You know, like they were always kind of hiding shit from us, and like nobody cared because it was like, oh, it's a fun game and there's always something to do. And I guess that's true, but like I always felt like they've been just kind of pushing us in the direction of spend more money with us in one way or another. And whether it's in microtransactions or DLC, it's always kind of been their agenda, you know? It's always been one of the things that I kind of hated about Destiny. And so, you know, the idea that people are just now kind of getting pissed off about it, just that pisses me off. It's like, yeah, it took you that long?
Yeah, it's
People are dumb, man.
yeah.
What'd you say, Keaton?
People are dumb.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, let's be honest, we're part of those people.
Yeah.
Like, because we
We
played
said
that
we weren't
game
gonna
for a
play two,
long ass time.
And we bought it.
Hey. I didn't buy shit. I liked 2 because I got the opportunity to play it, and it was pretty cool while it lasted. Hey, Gia, welcome to the Let's Play Live podcast, episode 2. How you doing?
Good.
So, thank you for your Christmas present, man. We were just talking about that, actually. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I know. I already asked you that like several times. I feel the need to ask it over and over again. So we're talking about different stuff. I think the first thing we brought up was online friends, because it's the holidays and we're exchanging gifts, or you guys are exchanging gifts, and I thought it was cool. But you hear all the time about people. You know, people acting like if you play video games online with your friends and you have no real friends. I would consider that to be a pretty wholly false statement these days. You guys are some of my closest friends, and I love you to death. And I just wanted to say, or I wanted to ask, because I already asked Keaton and Dante, how do you feel about that when people are like, oh, you play video games online? You must not have any friends. Do you hear that? Do you run into that at all?
Not really, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, I don't talk to many people, like outside.
So you just don't have any real friends.
The only person I heard from
That's a
is
good
Sarah
call.
and Mom. Well, not even Mom, just Sarah.
Well, you know, I mean, to argue against it is like, who are their friends?
Oh,
People that
God,
say
you're
that, you know?
so right.
I mean, I'm not trying to get on Sarah's case. I'm just saying in general, like, you know.
No,
it's
please do.
It's one thing to make the criticize, but ultimately it's like, well, who am I missing out on that you get to experience all the goddamn time?
Nobody special. That's why I
Don't be mean, Keaton. I don't know any of her friends.
I have to be because, oh God, you're fucking annoying.
Alright, well, this is a gaming podcast, not a lifestyle podcast. Let's just move on forward. What are you playing, Gia?
I'm on my phone right now. And I
Oh.
just started a Dragon Ball Dokkan battle.
What the fuck is that? Tell me about that.
It's Dragon Ball gacha game. So like, you know, you collect cards and then you use them in battles.
You know, I keep feeling like I'm just
Characters.
I'm getting like old as a gamer. I was just having this conversation with somebody else. What the fuck is a gacha? Stop using terminology I don't understand.
Gacha is a Japanese word, I would say. Yeah. It's So a gachapon, the gacha machines are basically quarter machines. You know, you put a quarter in something and you get something random.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what it is. So
But how
in
do
an
you
app
do that on-
form,
Okay, yeah.
you get like in-game currency, or you get currency you purchase, like in-app purchases, and then you use those to get a random character. Usually, sometimes it's guaranteed after a certain number of pulls, which means you pull for a character. Yeah. For this one, it's all Dragon Ball characters, and it's the Christmas event just started today, so everyone's pulling right now. The featured characters for this one are Ultra Instinct Goku, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegito.
Fuck.
Vegito?
Yeah.
Vegito sounds like a snack.
That's a dumb fucking... He was broke in the first place.
Yeah, and I just pulled him actually.
Holy fuck.
So is it awesome? Is he awesome? I don't understand how any of this shit works, but it sounds pretty awesome.
I'm still new to it. I started like a little over a week ago, so I've just been collecting the premium currency. They've been giving it out to the holiday, like a bunch of times. So I'm just spending it all right now. There are other feature characters like Super Gogeta. It basically features characters from every arc, including GT
Got it.
and even some of the games. So, yeah. It's pretty cool. I'm pulling everything.
I don't understand how people, like, I play a lot of video games, but I think the only way I get things done is that I don't ever play mobile games. And I'm not, I mean, it's not that I'm averse to it. I've enjoyed some mobile games. It's just that I figure I spent my money on my PlayStation. I can play my PlayStation. I have a very compartmentalized sense of like, or sense like that, generally speaking. So, last night, Gia, just after pretty much you and David were gone, or no, David was still there. After you had left the game, me, Dante, and David had well, we had a couple of awesome games of Rainbow Six. All the games we played were pretty awesome, except for that one that we lost. But I had the most awesome fucking game ever. Dante, you tell him about it. It was like the last thing we played. Alright, well, Dante's not here right now, so...
Oh, no, sorry, I'm snowballing it on Overwatch.
Oh. Alright, well then I'll explain it.
Will we... See, I'm trying to think of some of the stuff we did last night.
No, the last one was that kick-ass ace where I killed everybody on the opposite team after everybody else went down. So, I'll explain it because it was such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Hold on, I gotta make a Molotov to burn these people alive with.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Don't do this to me, Dante.
No,
alright.
no, I'm stoned.
No, it's no
Try to
worries.
get
I
to
got
that
you.
right
I
now,
got you. So, what ended up happening was everybody goes down except for like one other guy. They happened to be a little distracted with that guy when I jumped around a corner, saw two guys down in a hallway, downed one, or one of them actually got downed by the other guy. I should actually state that. One of them went down by the other guy, but he didn't get killed. He was just injured. I saw another guy shooting at our last teammate. Our teammate goes down. I kill the guy shooting. Then I kill the guy who's down. Then out of like a little corner, fucking Sledge pops out and starts shooting at me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit! And I switch to my pistol. Managed to take him down. Down the hallway, the same hallway, long hallway by the way. Fucking, it's Glaz I think, or Kapkan, or some fucking. It's one of the Russian characters. And it can't be Kapkan because we're defending. But he comes after me. I slip into like this tiny sideway. I go towards the objective, which is now being captured by Dokebi. I pull my pistol out, shoot at her twice, miss, go around to the table that she's hiding under, shoot at her again, miss a bunch more, finally walk up to her, stab her in the face, then fucking dude breaks down the door and like comes through the wall, comes through the hallway, and luckily there's like a bunch of barricades up and a black mirror. So I like crawl to the other side of the room and then walk around the black mirror and shoot the guy in the back just as he's coming through the door. And I was like, oh my god, you guys, I look amazing. So I'm talking about this now, not to just brag about my awesome play, because it was pretty awesome if I'm being honest. I talk about this now to ask, what are the multiplayer games that have gotten you guys really pumped in the past?
Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 and Halo.
Oh man, we spent a lot of time in all those games, me and you. Me and you specifically spent a lot of time in all those games. Yeah, I remember getting really pumped in all of those games.
Gears of War.
Gears of War. See, now I never played Gears of War.
Online. Oh my god.
Yeah, Gears. I was pretty brutal on Gears. Just because they did the whole, you could pop somebody's head if you shot them to the shoulder when they're hunkered down thing. It made sniping so much easier.
Yeah, because that's what we need in video games. We need sniping to be even easier.
Well, I mean, it only made sense. Like, the rifle is strong enough that if you know that their head is on the other side of their shoulder, you just shoot right through their shoulder and just headshot them, you know?
No, I mean, it absolutely makes sense. I'm sure it pissed a lot of people off, but that does actually make plenty of sense.
And grenade sticking people. That was, oh man, what I get. Just be hiding in cover and wait for somebody to run past.
I really miss sticky grenades, to be honest. In every game.
I miss them in Halo 1.
Oh man.
You could throw it across the entire fucking map and stick somebody. Halo 2, they logged.
Yeah, I mean, but there were still some good opportunities for good throws, man. I remember I once did a 1v1 match with somebody in Halo 3. And I stuck him like 15 times in a single game. It was like the only thing I could do to kill him. And so I did that the whole time. It was hilarious. But I miss sticky grenades. They're fucking great. They're hilarious. I mean, they're not hilarious to get stuck, but they're hilarious to use on people. I'm surprised nobody said The Last of Us. Gee, we spent a lot of time on The Last
yeah,
of Us also,
no.
didn't we?
Oh yeah.
That was one of those games that made me want to like role play. I was like down to fuck people up. I was killing people, slitting throats. It was just fucking brutal.
I was a level like 800 super rare hashtag fucking dots everywhere.
Slashes and dots everywhere.
No, yeah, I was always that guy on Lakeside who would snipe you no matter where the fuck you were. I don't know why I was good at sniping back on PS3. Yeah, I was the one who had the military rifle by the second round.
Dude, that military rifle was so cool.
Oh my god. And all I played was Survivors, so it was like, nah, get ready to sit out a whole round.
I mean,
And
I liked the
sitting back
military
there.
rifle because of its like potential. I never got to use it to its full potential. I like maybe once or twice I made like a couple of good kills with it. But there's nothing more satisfying than like a headshot. Because unfortunately that game, while brutal as fuck, it's not super realistic. Because if you headshot somebody, they don't die. They can still be revived. Unless you headshot them with a shotgun or a military rifle.
Military rifle. And military rifle was so wonderful. See, okay, that was the game I like grinded until Destiny came out. Like, I remember the day where I was like, cool, that was my last game and I just murdered. Turned it off, packed it up, and put my PS4 in its place.
That's pretty cool. I actually, after I played The Last of Us, I got into the multiplayer, but I also was like studying at the time, and I was a little bit more intrigued by what I was studying than I was in any more video games, because it was kind of like the end of the PlayStation 3's life cycle. And so I actually ended up giving it away to the theater that I was working at, and then my friend Tony got into playing The Last of Us. He played the game, and then eventually he's turned on the multiplayer, because I kind of figured he would. And like, that was all we did every night after acting classes. We would just like go back to the back of the theater and play The Last of Us in the back of the theater. Like, it was so cool. It was such a weird experience, but it was so cool. We were just back there slaughtering people, and then we would go and do art the next day.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, I still have the friends, like, because I used to play with 3 other people on PS3, and all we would play was Last of Us. As soon as we'd see each other on, we'd get on, join the chat, just hang out for a little bit, and then go in and play some Survivors, and just own.
Oh,
I remember at the point to where, like, shivs, you remember there was this thing called shiv dancing? To where, like,
Oh my
if
God.
you got them at a certain angle, you could just hit triangle and just grab them up and stab them.
Yep. I never
I
did it
remember
because I was
running
terrible. I never
circles
did it intentionally
with
because I was
people.
terrible at it. But I remember people would do that to me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I would be so pissed off when that
Yeah.
shit happened.
Because you're just fighting. You're fighting and then you miss a punch and he's just right behind you and just ja. And you're like, okay.
What? Oh shit! What drove me crazy was that there were people that got out. There were people that got really, really good at like doing certain things at like at the right time. Like I remember one guy threw a like smoke down at his own feet, and usually when you smoke yourself, you're not able to do anything. But he was like tapping triangle at like 1 billion miles a second. So as soon as both of us got stunned, as soon as I got stunned, he just stabbed me immediately, and I was just infuriated. I was so pissed off.
You see, I think they made a perk. I don't know. I got out of a lot.
They did make a perk,
but I guess
yeah.
Yeah. Because I played the hell out of that. Like, okay. I don't know why. I guess you shouldn't have bought it down. But I'm super stoked for Last of Us 2 now because of the multiplayer.
I'm really interested to see what they do. I mean,
And that's
how do
why
you
I
top what they
usually
already
don't.
did? It was such a unique experience that was like fun, but also extremely brutal. Like I remember one time I was playing The Last of Us online at a friend's house because I bought the game for my friend Alex the day it came out. He wasn't never really into multiplayer games. But I was playing online at his place. We were just kind of like over hanging out, and like I got to one of those points where you can execute somebody, and I happened to have the shorty on, and I was like, oh, this is the best execution. Watch. And like somebody from his family walked through. He was like, "What are you guys watching?" And I was like, "Oh, we're not watching. We're playing." And then like I blew this guy's head off, and there were like brains and shit everywhere. And she just kind of like made this horrified face, and then walked away, really slow like.
Yeah. Damn it! You should have brought that game up. It's a really fucking good game. It's one of the games that I try to forget because it's so fucking good.
You know, but that's it. Ow, Jesus. That's another thing, though. As good as it was, I feel like the more they updated it and changed it, it was less good. Like, it just got kind of complex and stupid with the different weapons. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, the more they added, that's what I'm saying. Like, after, because see, I was there when they added the first set. I got that pistol that was, like, in between the 9mm and the revolver. It was like a 5-shot down.
Yeah. But it fired,
that's
like, super fast or some shit.
Yeah, that's the only new perk or anything I got was that pistol. And I used that. I remember making a class that was like all stealth except for the shotgun, the fucking buyable shotgun.
Oh my god, dude. At one point they released a... This is such a topical podcast. We're talking about shit games that are hella old. At one point they released like a tactical shotgun that you could have as a primary. And so I did shotgun, tactical shotgun, shoddy, buyable shotgun. And it was like just the shotgun loadout. Fucking hilarious. Executions all around. It was the best.
Yeah, I still remember sneaking in the high school, sneaking in the bottom part with the shotgun just going, just waiting. And listening and seeing something come up and then just aiming. As soon as they come around, just wow! And then just keep moving.
This shotgun, like, it was no joke, man. It could give you nightmares. That gun was just like... I mean, I don't want to say this because I loved it, but that gun was kind of fucking broken.
Oh, yeah, because it... complete silence at one point, and then you just loud as fuck.
The other gun I really liked,
going down.
The one I really liked was the assault rifle. It was like an M4 or whatever, and like it didn't do very much damage, but like it scared people because it made so much noise.
Yeah, and loading it full of ammo. I remember that. I got
you got like a shit ton of ammo with it too. And so, like, you had this gun that was just kind of like most of the time you expect to have at least a chance to fire back in The Last of Us because not many people have that much ammo, and generally they don't want to use it all just trying to kill one guy. But with that gun, it was just and then the dude would like pop out and you're like It was the best. I loved that gun just for the scare factor. It never did. It did so shit for damage, but it was a fun fucking gun to use. That's for sure. Gia, what were your favorite guns in The Last of Us? Do you remember?
What was the DLC one? Was that the Frontier?
Oh, you were one of those Frontier assholes. Fuck you. The Frontier rifle caused me so much. What'd you say, Dante?
What was the Frontier? I don't
Frontier rifle was like it wasn't a bolt action. It was one of those like it was a lever action rifle that like was a 2-shot to down. And it was just like a mini sniper rifle basically. And if you were really good with it, you could use it effectively as a sniper rifle. And it was just it just reloaded just fast enough for you to really like regret ever popping out of cover. It's a pain in the dick.
Okay. See, I remember hearing something about that after I left.
It was intensely frustrating.
One of my buddies messaged me. He was like, "Yeah, there's this new rifle that's like it's like the hunting rifle, but kind of iron sighted."
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
I think that's what he said.
So
I'm fairly sure, but yeah.
All right, so moving on. Let's get to the topic. So this all came about because of Rainbow Six. Now I've had Rainbow Six for about 2 years now, and I play it fairly consistently. Like before anybody else had it, before Richard had it, he watched people play it on YouTube. So he had like a, general understanding and like appreciation for the game prior to him joining it. But before he had it, I wouldn't do shit to play on my own in fucking pub games. And Dante, you've been playing it. It's kind of like a new experience to you. How do you feel about pub games in Rainbow Six?
Did it twice. I'm probably not gonna do the third time.
Yeah, it's a pretty trash experience. And I mean, like, the fucking sad thing is that the game is fine. It's just playing with other people who don't know what they're doing, which, like, considering how popular the game is, it's probably the majority of people, right? It's just so infuriating. Like, when you're, like, trying to slow down, and this still happens with you guys, but I don't get mad at you. When you're trying to be a little bit slower about entering a building, and then all of a sudden you're just like, last teammate standing. You're like, I didn't even get to the front door yet! That's like an infuriating
I don't know
experience
what you're
that will
talking
happen.
about, man.
That will happen a lot in pub games. And so now that we're playing together, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you guys are one, that you have it, and two, that you like it, because it makes my game experience so much better. That much better.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gia. You can chalk it up as another Christmas present, really. So, here's the thing, though. I feel like we weren't really playing anything multiplayer related before Rainbow Six, and that was just kind of a fluke. Gia, you had already had it, but barely ever played. Richard and I had it and played pretty frequently, but that was, you know, we were kind of ineffectual. Keaton, I got it for Keaton as a present at some point. I don't remember when. And he enjoyed it, but we still weren't playing.
Like a late birthday present.
Yeah, it was like a late birthday present. And then we ended up, and then Dante, you got it when you finally finished off Dishonored and didn't have anything else to like get to, right?
Yep, pretty much.
So I was totally convinced that, considering like the experiences I've had with everybody, that it would be an off and on thing. And now it's almost like a nightly thing, and I'm so fucking happy, like I said, that it worked, you guys are like, yeah, no, this works for us. I'm glad, because it's such an, like, the experience itself is so much more solid and consistent when you have friends online.
Right.
So, what were we playing before that? Like, what was the last game that made us all get together and do that? Like, yeah, we played Destiny, but that was mostly PvE. Occasionally we would do some PvP stuff together.
Evolve.
Overwatch.
We played Evolve. Yeah, Overwatch. Yeah, we play Overwatch. We still play Overwatch pretty consistently, although Rainbow Six has kind of taken the mantle.
Damn.
A little bit. What happened?
This dude fucking sniped me.
Are you playing Rainbow
Like-
Six?
No, Snowball.
Oh.
It's not, yeah, but
So yeah, you're
I'm
playing
last
Overwatch
one
right now.
standing. And I saw him around in this building, and he disappears and is on the other side of the map and fucking snipes me. Just lobs it. Out of nowhere, I'm just like, dead. Get out of here. Yeah, Overwatch. Friday.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking
was
that it was rare, but we did play a lot of. We played a lot of multiplayer games together.
Yeah. I just updated it.
Yeah, did the single player for that get released finally?
No, but did you check that, Keaton?
For what? Friday?
Single player for Friday. Yeah, it's not in the patch. No, update thing.
Let me see. I just updated it also. And it just says bug fixes.
You know, I gotta be honest about Friday, right? I was so expecting eventually for that game to get really cleaned up with its animations.
But
I mean,
But obviously it's not.
Somewhat
What the fuck do you mean, but?
they added rain.
They added rain? I think I remember that. Oh shit.
Yeah. It was rain and stuff looks slicker.
With who? What?
Not
now?
sleek. Slick. Stuff looks different.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad game. I just wish that it was a little less clunky. Just a scotch less clunky. Just a scotch. Where the fuck is the thing
Yeah,
for
I'm
this?
sad that I missed out on last of those multiplayer.
I mean, you could still
No,
jump on
it's
right
just
now.
people who-
I mean, I did on the PS3 when I got it free. I played when I was like rented the game, started playing the campaign. I think I played like 5 or 7 matches of multiplayer, and I enjoyed it. It was cool. Kind of sucks by yourself.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
here's-
the first
here-
starting.
Here's the little secret. It kind of sucks with your friends sometimes. Sometimes you just were up against people that just knew better, or were better.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like the way Gears of War was. You know, it's
I mean, they were
where
both
you kind of
third
just
person,
spawn
yeah.
in, you can run around and kind of like hide. It just kind of had the same feel. Not, you know, obviously not the same type of feel, but it had like a similar feel to Gears of War.
Huh.
You know, because most games, when you spawn in random locations. Like Gears, you always started. There was 2 sides of the map. That's where both teams spawned. So there was never like, oh, this dude just spawned right here and killed me.
Right.
I don't know why they don't do that anymore. Like that's the best way. That shit's
I mean,
annoying.
it depends on the game, right? Because if you have it where everybody spawns on one side, then you got assholes who throw grenades or shit at the beginning of the match, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and see, that's why I think I always played Survivors. Is the supply rate, the spawning could get messed up, and then the other one, the lockbox at the safe or whatever that one was.
That was just messy. That
That
whole
one-
game was just a fucking...
This doesn't concern me.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it at times. It was cool for a moment, but it was like, it was a novelty, you know? Oh, I didn't mean to kill the survivor. Okay. Alright. Just gonna do this one more time. There we go. So, what multiplayer games are we all looking forward to? Are we just all contented with, and I mean specifically PvP, yeah. Are we just contented with Rainbow Six right now? Because I would actually be happy to play that for a bit longer.
Right now, no, it's been Rainbow Six. So
Or
Last of Us 2.
I want to see how it is. I mean, if this promotional material for The Last of Us 2 is any like indicator, it's gonna be pretty brutal.
Man, because the promotional material for like the trailer, the gameplay trailer
Yeah.
for The Last of Us, that was amazing. Even though they took out all the HUD and whatnot, it was still pretty fucking awesome.
Here's a good question, actually. This is similar, but not in the same vein. How do you guys feel about HUD? I'm like one of those guys that if I can turn it off, I will.
It doesn't bother me unless it's like really in the way of shit I'm trying to see.
I mean, like, there are certain games that
Yeah.
you turn on, they have way too much HUD. Like, Mad Max. Mad Max was a kick-ass game. Had way too much HUD. Like, an excessive amount of HUD.
Infinite Warfare Zombies had a lot too.
Yeah, that's another example. And unfortunately, that trend stays pretty consistent throughout, because even Nazi zombies is kind of like, ah, dude, I don't need all this fucking HUD. Like, what are you trying to tell me that's so important that you can't clear a little bit of it up so I can just play my goddamn game?
Yeah, and see, once I know it, if I can turn it off, I will. Except for games that like I need it for like quick stuff, health.
Yeah, no, there are some games where you absolutely need it, but there's something to be said, I think, about a game that is so like, that is mechanically so sound that you can actually turn the HUD off and you're still able to like navigate within the game because you just know it so well, or because it provides that opportunity to you. Like I would say Dishonored is one of those games. Like if you know that game well enough, you don't need the HUD that much. You certainly don't need all of all of the HUD elements.
Well, and see, that's like another thing too is fading HUD is pretty cool too.
Yeah, see now I'm beginning to like options, because certain games you need a little bit of it. When I play fucking Dying Light, which honestly the HUD is not too terrible, but when I play Dying Light with the HUD completely off, I get so lost. It's really hard to find my way around, or to tell what I'm doing or anything. But oh god damn it. Oh. But I like the option to turn it down or like make it a little bit more opaque. That's really where it's at for me. Because I mean, I say that I like it turned off if I can, but the truth is that every game is not built for that. Gia, thoughts? You ever been a HUD-less guy?
no, I'm usually 16 around with my HUD. My HUD on, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that. So, wait. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah. See, well, it's not that I don't like being aware, it's that certain things I don't need if you can display it to me in a different way. Like, let's say Dying Light. Dying Light has this problem, I mean, especially on the harder difficulties, because zombies do shit tons of damage. But, like, if you could give me, like, a way to tell that I'm injured, so I don't have to look at my health bar as a solid number, that's just immersion to me. That's more immersion. I like that, you know? But if you're just gonna like give me a number, it's just like, okay, cool. I gotta. It just like it breaks. Like I said, it breaks the immersion. So part of the whole taking the HUD down, I think, is like it's an attempt to challenge yourself when the game developers won't. I feel like a lot of people these days complain, and I'm definitely one of them, will complain that games are a bit too easy in some respects, and I think that they can be for sure. But then sometimes when you ask a developer to make something difficult, they take it all the way in the wrong direction, and it ends up almost impossible. Like, for two examples I can think of. The Last of Us is a really cool game. It's very challenging on survival mode. They released a DLC mode called Grounded difficulty like a year after it came out. Grounded was a fucking chore to play. There was almost nothing fun about playing Grounded difficulty compared to like playing survival, which was challenging and exciting. Grounded was just punishment. Dante, you're familiar with it, so how did you feel about it?
It was hard as fuck, but I stuck it out. I got to the parts where it's after she escapes. Creeper days.
Oh, that was pretty hard. Yeah.
The first time, like after she escapes the cell, and it's just her and her fucking knife.
Yeah.
And some bricks and fucking bottles. That was bullshit. Cause those motherfuckers had like stupid amounts of fucking ammo and accuracy and just knew where the fuck I was at. It was dumb. That was the part where I got stuck at because I was like, I have nothing. I literally have nothing.
Well, you know, the thing I liked about that game is that like it didn't, you didn't have to play it stealth. Obviously that helped, but you didn't have to. But then when you got to fucking Grounded difficulty, you kinda had to. Because if you got into a gunfight with a bunch of people, and even in survival mode, you know, they would run out of ammo, you would find a brick, or like Ellie would give you a health pack in just enough time for you to save yourself, but not in Grounded. In Grounded, it was just like, nah, man, you're dead. You get shot once, you're dead. And on the opposite end, to talk about the fairness here, it was the same for the enemies too. If you shot them once with a pistol, they were dead. But, you know, in the end, the video game always knows where you are and what you're going to do before, or in a better, more than you do, or not more than you do, but it knows how to, like, counteract you better than anybody else. So they don't have to make the game, they don't have to make it, like, you know, balanced if you want it to be hard. That's a good example. Or that's an example of them at least trying. Here's a bad one. I turned on professional difficulty on fucking Hitman last week when we were doing the live podcast. I couldn't do shit.
You get one save.
I was not a save scummy kind of guy for Hitman. I could always do one playthrough, one run of whatever I did in Hitman, luckily. And that was the only game, because I'll save scum the fuck up in Dishonored. And that was the only game. But, like, just the level of, like, acuity that the enemies suddenly have. They know everything about, like, where you're going and what you're doing. They see every little sneaky thing you do. I could barely get past the first floor. It was really rough. So, you know, I asked for difficult games. I particularly always want to challenge myself in my game because I want it to be something that I actually win. But, you know, fuck, dude. Sometimes they can fuck it up and it just becomes less fun. Like, even in this game, there's a difficulty called Nightmare Mode, but they send the runners after you in this game, or in Nightmare Mode in Dying Light. Sorry, I'm chopping people up. In Dying Light, all the time. So you can't even pick a lock, or like do something, or slow down, because there's this motherfucker's chasing you forever. It's a real pain in the ass. And they like, two of them have the ability to kill you within like a second. Like, if they get on top of you quick enough. It's pretty brutal. So, you know, there's a point where it's challenging and exciting, and then there's a point where it's just fucking not fun. And I feel like game developers don't do a good enough job of like finding that middle balance. They're either like, you want it hard, you got it hard, or just here, we're gonna let you win the game. Just play the game, you know? All you gotta do is sit there and you're gonna win. Now, Gia, and I'm not saying this to call you out, but I know that you're not one for playing on harder difficulties, or doing anything that's like overtly challenging in a video game. But do you ever find yourself with a game that you really like maybe modifying the way you play or the rules that you're going to give yourself to make it a little bit more difficult? So as an example, there are people who play Dying Light without like the proper upgrades to their health or like certain maneuverability options to make it just a bit more realistic. Now, I wouldn't do that because that's not fucking fun. But have you ever done that for a game?
Nothing serious. I mean,
Well, have you ever tried anything out?
I mean, like on the hardest difficulty, or
Not
doing things to make
necessarily.
it harder for yourself?
Just doing things to make it a little bit more difficult or different, like give you a different experience.
No, not really. The closest thing I can think of is just like with shooters, just picking weapons that I never touch. But that's usually just when I get bored, like tired of using the same gun.
Yeah, that's actually like a thing I've adopted to do in shooters. Like if you go through a single player campaign, generally you're just going through one corridor or another. So I make it a habit of picking up the next weapon I find all the time and using it until I run out of ammo. You know? And that's always pretty fun. I mean, that's a small example. I feel like that's good enough. Dante, I know I asked this question. You've probably done this, have you not?
The show.
So give me some examples.
I mean, just to make it harder.
I mean, not even just to make it harder, just to change the experience at all.
All the trophy runs I've done.
Yeah, see, now that's like one of those things where you're kind of forced to do it, and I've participated in that
Flesh
too,
and-
like no kills.
Flesh and Steel.
But you know what, actually?
Dude, I can't be Yeti. I fucking suck flawless. Flawless Raider.
Yeah, no,
That was
that's a
a
good
whole
example.
fucking. Like, I planned that shit out.
Okay, so here's a question I have for you. Keaton, what'd you say?
He didn't get Flawless Raider.
I can't. Could you stop juggling your microphone? I can't hear a word you're saying.
I was saying it's sad, that's why. I didn't get Flawless Raider.
Yeah, me neither. The
Neither did
people that got it, with
You
the
break
exception
with,
of Dante, were the people that aren't here. But what I was gonna ask you, Dante, or actually I was gonna tell you, did you ever get to play Deus Ex Human Revolution on PS3?
Mm-mm.
Okay, see now the Deus Ex games became like one of my suddenly favorite games when Human Revolution came out, mostly because of its subject matter. But it's just like a really cool cyberpunk game, and they don't make very many cyberpunk games, unfortunately. But Deus Ex or Human Revolution was really good, like excellent, I think. Fucking the newest one, Mankind Divided, not so good, but I would actually suggest you play that the next time it goes on sale, if you get the chance.
Let's see what's up.
Because it's like Dishonored in the future. It's almost exactly like Dishonored in the future, with like a little bit of Mass Effect thrown in for like conversation.
Let's see, I've never played the Mass Effect series.
Yeah, I mean, how would you describe the Mass Effect games to somebody who's never played them before, Gia? Like, how would you compare them to some? What games would you compare them to?
From Mass Effect?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to be like pretentious, but they're kind of incomparable in some respects.
I mean, the only other thing I would compare it to is the other BioWare games, Kingdoms of Amalur.
I mean, if
But
you
yeah,
can
have you
pull
played
off
any other
different
BioWare
aspects.
games? Did you ever check out Dragon Age?
I think you played Kingdoms of
Yeah.
Amalur, didn't you, Dante?
I played Kingdoms of Amalur, and then I played Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2.
Okay, so
Origins,
yeah,
I didn't do
mean,
any DLC.
Oh my god.
I didn't have
Dragon
any
Age
of it.
Origins was like
Yeah.
I think it's still my favorite RPG ever created. I just remembered that. Thank you for that, you guys. That was amazing. I spent like so much. I spent 100 hours in that game, and it was like a single-player game. It was one of the first games I ever did that in. But yeah, no, it's like the conversation system of Dragon Age and like Deus Ex, or not, and not Deus Ex. It's like the conversation of Dragon Age, and it's like the gameplay of Dishonored, but in the future with augmentations. It's really cool. If you like Dishonored, you would really love it. Unfortunately, the story was kind of meh, but the gameplay for this year's or for last year's iteration was just fucking so fun. So Keaton, have you ever found yourself changing the way you play to make sure a game or to make a game more difficult or different?
The whole time that we're talking about, I've been sitting here trying to think, and like I really can't come up with an example. I haven't in so long that I don't remember what it was.
Okay. So, I mean, you also have to get a game where it works. Like, otherwise, you can't really do it in a shooter unless you say, like, I'm just going to pick up, the next gun that comes across. But, like, it works in games where you have a little bit more freedom with what you do. RPGs, survival games, kind of. Is like, I'm not going to pick up this kind of equipment.
I don't know if I've ever done that to make something kind of harder or more challenging, or just to change up the pace, but I know I've done it for sure to, like, get past something I've been stuck on. I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I need to do something different.
Well, that's a thing that, like, fucking Bloodborne and Dark Souls will make you do. It's like, if you keep doing something the same way and you fail a bunch, you're stupid. Change something. And it's so weird. Yeah, let's hear it.
It's for Pokemon, actually.
Okay.
There's a thing called Nuzlocke. No, Nuzlocke.
Uh-huh.
It's where you, basically, anytime your Pokemon faints, you treat it as dead, and you can't just release it.
Oh, shit. It's like a permadeath for Pokemon.
Right, and also, there's, like, a whole list of rules for different, like, degrees. There's ones where, you can only catch one Pokemon. The first one you run into in an area. And if you don't catch it, you don't get another Pokemon in that area. So you're limited on how many you can catch. You're limited to what, like, just the first one you find. And it's, hard mode, basically.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
To me, because I do shit like that.
Yeah.
How did you like the experience?
It was challenging. I didn't make it.
So you can just be limited to the point where you're just like, you fail.
If all your Pokemon die, there's usually like rules, like saying you can like have a mercy rule, or like you can go back out to catch new Pokemon.
I see.
Keep one just so you can catch another one and swap it out. Like that.
That's cool. You have like an insurance Pokemon.
Call it an electric Pokemon. Now it's time to go fight Brock.
Yeah, that would suck, but that's part of the Nuzlocke. Yeah.
That actually sounds terrible. There's so much strategy involved in like the Pokemon that you carry. I mean, there used to be. I don't know how it works now with the weirdo different element Pokemon now, but I can't get over there. Oh, it's almost nighttime. So all right. So here's another question. Do you guys see yourself doing that anytime in the future?
Maybe.
Keaton, did you ever? I've asked you already, but did you ever play Dying Light? Well, here's something I did for Dying Light. I insisted that I turn the navigation off. There's like a mini map, and you don't need it. Like, it's kind of redundant because there's like a pulse thing you can do that tells you where your like objectives are, just as effectively. And so it's a bit more. I mean, it doesn't make any sense why your character is so good with direction suddenly, but it's at least I don't have to worry about looking on a map. Like, that's part of, to go back to the conversation about taking your HUD off. I don't like anything that makes me take my eyes off the screen. Even if it's trying to give me important information, I would rather just have it be displayed to me on screen. Or in the game, in the game in a way that doesn't, like, make me have to move my eyes from the center of the screen. What else was I going to say? So, Keaton, I think you should get Dying Light. I think Dante should download Dying Light, and we should all play Dying Light.
Not just yet.
What'd you
I
say?
don't know. You gotta remember what's coming out.
What do you... What the fuck? It's a goddamn... It's a... Gia, We're in a goddamn podcast, not a television show. You don't have to cock tease me with what's coming out in the future. Just tell me what the fuck you're talking about. Right. So that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Aren't you getting Monster Hunter?
Too? Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting it eventually. I don't know right away because Digimon also comes out.
Ah, yes.
New Digimon?
Yeah, Cyber Sleuth 2.
Yeah.
I want to state outright that I'm not against any of those games. I want to see Digimon. Actually, it's been a while since I did anything Digimon related. And if I'm being honest, I fucking love Digimon. I was that kid that secretly liked it because it wasn't cool to like it, but I liked it.
You said the same thing about Power Rangers. Like, fuck everybody else.
Yeah, I wish I had known that when I was a kid, though.
Digimon.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
know, I didn't either, but everybody around me liked Power Rangers when I was, you know, you're the same age as me.
What pisses me off is that now everybody likes Power Rangers, and I'm like, you poser ass motherfuckers.
Quick survey. Who liked which one more, Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles?
I would go with the Power Rangers.
I never watched Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I liked the movies. I was not really
You
into
like
the
it all,
Ninja
dude.
Turtles.
I mean,
Like, I
love the
remember
Ninja
liking it when I was a
Turtles,
little
but
kid,
I
but
couldn't
yeah,
even
after a
tell you
while it was
anything about
over.
the cartoon. It came out in like late 80s, you know, I was born in 89, so I caught like reruns and it kind of stopped going on air, and like, I started watching other shit. But
Yeah, I mean, it's
I love the
actually,
Ninja Turtle movies.
it's weird because like the old movies were some of the first things that me and my mom would watch, and she like was for whatever reason into the Ninja Turtles, or maybe she just pretended to be because I was into them. I don't know, but like yeah, I fell off of that, and I didn't really follow the Power Rangers either, if I'm being honest. But like, I just think they're cooler.
I mean, I did.
I think I feel like I could still be a Power Ranger. I can't be a Ninja Turtle anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the same as Yuki, and I stayed until Galaxy, so a little bit after time.
Ooh, Lost Galaxy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, was
See,
that?
I don't
Hold
even
on.
think I
Yo.
finished-
Was Galaxy the one where they had the Zord that was like the Enterprise?
No, I think that's Lost in Space. That's the one.
Dude, that one was
Space,
fucking
yeah.
boss.
Space.
I liked that. I liked that season of Power Rangers a lot, actually.
Sarah's favorite was Space.
Space was cool.
I liked Turbo, but I got out of it because Tommy left in Turbo, and TJ, the black dude, became the fucking main leader. And I was like, I mean,
Am I hearing a touch of racism,
I
Keaton?
mean, Tommy's gone. I don't care.
Right at the end of Turbo, right? I don't remember.
No,
Or was that
it was,
mid-
still, it was like a season or two. Like there was still a good bit of Turbo left.
Come on,
Tommy
why are
left.
there so many fucking divas?
Oh wait, just a side note. Like, so I like to
Yeah.
sit on certain images just until it comes up in chat. Since
Yeah.
we're talking about it now, I'm gonna send this out.
All right. This is gonna be great. Hold on. I'm gonna just straight up pause it. You know what's fucked up? Nobody's watching today's podcast. Hella people watched it last week. Like 12 people popped in. Nobody's watching this one.
Uh,
What are you
Sad.
playing right now?
Dying Light. But the last
What
time
were
I
you
was
playing
playing
last
Hitman.
Play Hitman.
I don't want to play Hitman. It embarrassed me.
Loser. But no, yeah, like I stopped. I don't know. I guess I watched a little bit of Space.
Fuck off.
I don't know if the camera's going to be able to see this, but this is... I know, they can't see shit, but it's basically all the evil people from fucking... Power
yeah,
Rangers.
then everybody
Hard
kind
to,
of like, oh,
slowly-
no, it's not cool
God, I'm
anymore yet.
hella high, you
I stopped
guys.
watching it. And then I started again when Tommy came back in Dino Thunder.
oh, yeah, that was.
All
No,
I
no,
know...
no, no. I watched the year before that, Ninja Storm. When Ninja Storm came out, I got back into it because Ninja Storm was actually really good. And then Dino Thunder came out, and Tommy was like the teacher. And I was like, sweet, I'll watch this one too. Tommy's coming back. I never finished it though. And then I watched SPD right after that. Not a lot of it, but I got into that one. And after that, no, I haven't watched any.
I just remember that one of the most recent ones had like special. The Rangers, their morphers had special keys and let them turn into previous Rangers.
Yeah, that was Super Mega Force.
Okay.
These names, I love them. Super
No,
Mega
You
Force.
gotta understand, Super Mega Force is the second. There was Samurai, then there was Super Samurai, which was like a second season. Then there was Mega Force, and then there was Super Mega Force, which was like a second season. And they were pirate rangers. They looked like pirates. It was horrible.
But they had the one like special where
Yeah,
they
the
brought
whole
in
thing where they
three
could literally embody any previous ranger, like their suit.
Oh my my god, you guys, I'm not a fan of any of this compared to you guys. I just like the
And
idea
Mama
of
was
colored
said it's
costumes and
nostalgic
kung
for me,
fu,
but
you
I don't watch
guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
you
just
understand, man,
like, I just like it because I'm a stoner and I think it's cool. Jesus.
Like, Mighty Morphin was actually the 17th version of Power Rangers in Japan.
That doesn't surprise me because like then you hear that like
It started in the
I was
70s,
like when I was
early
like
70s.
13, I was surprised to hear that like Dragon Ball Z was as old as it was. I was like, what?
Yeah, right?
You know how old the
89?
voice of Goku is?
What?
You know how old the voice of Goku is? Like the voice actress?
Oh my god, no. Hella old probably?
80 something.
Holy
And
shit,
she
she
still
still
works.
does
Oh.
it?
Yeah.
Daphne
God
died.
damn. Yeah, I heard.
Voice of
The voice of Daphne
71,
from Scooby-Doo.
yeah.
Oh. That sucks. Casey Kasem died years ago. Who was the voice of Daphne? I mean, I don't know.
Wait, Casey
I'm sure
Kasem
she
died?
did other Hanna-Barbera stuff. Yeah, dude, Casey Kasem died years ago.
Man, I hope one day somebody's like, oh man, you know who died? Raul died. I really loved that guy.
We'll all
'Cause I
say
don't-
it.
As it's going, I don't think anybody's gonna do it. All right, so here I'll tell you what, guys. Since nobody's watching
He was
the
an opinionated
podcast,
bastard, but we loved him.
I am opinionated. You know what? I one of the weirdest things I did.
I like your opinionated, though. I don't like Richard's opinionated.
You know what's funny is that I was actually gonna bitch about Richard too.
I hope he listens to this podcast, too. Yeah, I'm talking about you, dick.
I'll send him a link. No, you know what's funny is that I love Richard. He's a cool friend.
I do too.
Like, but he disagrees with everything I say. like,
Yeah.
and that's weird
Y'all
because
argue
like
in the podcast more than we actually podcast.
I know, and that's like what kind of pissed me off. I got pissed off at him last week, you know, and I was
Yeah.
like,
like
I'm just
every other.
I'm
week.
just trying to run a podcast, Richard. You're fucking it up for me. But I don't have any bad blood towards him. He just doesn't agree with me ever, and it's just like it's aggravating.
I mean, he's like the anti-Raul. He loves Disney. He likes kitty things.
He
like,
is kinda
everything
like
you're
the
not,
anti-meme.
Richard.
I like all that too.
I mean, I do too, dude. I love Disney. I'm
I
not
don't
saying
have anything
wrong with that. I'm
against
just saying he's the
Disney,
anti-Raul.
Like the properties that Disney makes, other than like the fact that I find them formulaic.
Did you see what I tagged you in on Facebook earlier, Raul?
No, I haven't checked out Facebook in a couple days.
I shared it to your page. You gotta look at it.
All right, I'll look at it. You want me to look at it right now?
Yeah, it pertains to this.
Okay. Why not? We have fun here on the Let's Play Podcast Live.
Yeah, as soon as
That's
I
weird.
read it, I thought
You know
of
what
you.
I love about technology, guys? I was like, I could never do a live show, and now I do a live show. I don't even move from the seat that I always play video games in. Speaking of, my ass hurts so much from all this streaming lately. Oh my god, dude, my back.
Get you a nice chair, man.
I know.
Get a cushion.
I know. My neck
Yeah,
hurts
or
from
cushion,
like
that's a cheaper route.
my neck hurts from like having a headset on and being like craned forward, because you know how when you play video games you kind of like move your head forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, see
It's
now
like,
this
like,
is
I have a cushion for my head.
this picture that you sent me, Keaton, which is basically of Disney taking over the world as neo-fascism. This is why I don't trust them. That's what I mean. Is that like I don't want
I
one
know.
company to own all of the media that I consume, even if it is good by everybody else's standards. I don't want them to one day be like, you can't say fuck on TV, because that means that I'm never going to get on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
Aren't they owned
like,
by
yeah.
China?
wouldn't that be the answer? It's like, turns out Disney's owned by China this whole time.
Wait, wasn't it?
I don't know.
It's like
Also- Also, people who like romanticize fucking Disney, Chelsea, sorry, I can't never do that very well. People who romanticize Disney forget that fucking Walt Disney was a goddamn Nazi.
He was an asshole. He didn't like women. Yeah.
He was a
like
gay
blacks.
Nazi.
He was
And
racist.
not that there's anything wrong with being gay. No. He was a fucking Nazi. Like, dude, how do you gloss over that when you describe people these days?
There's a manga by this Naoki Urasawa called Billy Bat.
Mm-hmm.
The story is basically there's a bat that controls, basically pushes people to make decisions in the world, like making Hitler go through, start Holocaust. In it, there's a character based off of Walt Disney who has a Disney Empire.
Mm-hmm.
That character made comics off of the Billy Bat. Pretty much, it's revealed that the Walt Disney character was sent by Hitler to spread the image of Billy Bat in order to it was just this weird thing, but basically a kid.
You're actually frightening me.
Disney actually has their own secret club that very few people can actually go to. Even some celebrities can't even get into. I don't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's
right.
super shady, man.
See, that's
sorry,
my
if you're
point.
not an elite member of society, you will never experience this.
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I don't like them. It's just kind of because they're putting forth this image of oh, we just make really quality films. It's yeah, and what are you doing with all those billions and billions of dollars, Disney? Fucking Disney's gonna own a vault when the world nukes itself that only Disney employees can go to, and we're gonna be all ass out because Disney's rich and they own the world. What are you gonna do about it, bitch? Haha.
You guys heard about Roy Disney?
See, now wasn't Roy Disney a cool dude?
That's what I heard. And then something about him getting ousted, or he left. I don't remember. Or did he? No, he was responsible for ousting some people.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Ousting never happens for no reason, You're probably trying to hide something that you did to them. You stole their job. You fucking sexually assaulted them. That's all it is these days. You fucking ruined their life, fucked their wife, killed their dog, and then you got them fired from their job when they complained.
But I mean, what's still out there that can compete in media right now?
Nothing. No one. Google. If Google starts making TV, we'll be okay.
Maybe not compete,
and
but
then we have to
also
side with Google. So yeah, take it that way.
You got Netflix originals and stuff like that if you don't want to watch Disney content or Fox content now. Right.
Or all content now.
What was the animation studio for Land Before Time and American Tail and all those other ones that weren't Disney?
Jesus, I don't know.
Ferngully.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, yeah, Disney.
They're all subsidiaries of Disney.
Maybe. Years ago,
Sorry, I got totally distracted by the zombies. But
Don Bluth, that's who I was.
Don Bluth, yeah, dude, Don Bluth was shit.
all right, so let's.
Universal Pictures.
I'll tell you what, you guys, we're running a bit long, but I'd really like to play some Rainbow Six if anybody's down.
45% on Rotten Tomatoes? You can kiss my fucking ass. Five Goes West was the shit.
Okay. Are we playing Rainbow Six or what?
I'm down. I'm in this free-for-all game.
Cool. Keaton.
I already answered.
What did you say? Fucking repeat yourself. Fuck.
I don't like doing that. I said yes.
Okay. Well, for the levity, asshole. Okay. Gia, you said you're down?
Yeah.
Cool. So, that will do it for today's Let's Play Live podcast. Not many people checked in. I guess I should just fucking suck at Hitman every goddamn week, and that'll really bring in the viewers. They're just all sitting there judging me silently. Regardless, thank you for watching this. It'll be on YouTube too, so there'll be another chance to check it out. Not live. That's it for us, guys. I hope you enjoyed our completely mindless banter about nothing topical this week, because fuck topical stuff. It's boring as shit to talk about all the time. Isn't it boring as shit to talk about, you guys? I hate bringing the news to you guys. It's like, so, Bungie said this. Ubisoft did this. And it's like,
Well,
what do you guys think? What are you saying?
I just like to point out that the internet is a pretty negative space majority of the time. you're gonna.
Oh, look at you with the words of wisdom. He's right, guys. The internet fucking sucks all the time. Look at me.
Thanks. Good job.
Anastasia was by Fox, so Anastasia's now a Disney princess. Cool.
That's cool. I really needed that in my life. I was really fucking losing sleep over whether or not Anastasia would ever finally get her fucking rightful place as a Disney princess. What the fuck? Okay, that's it for the podcast.